Alright, Bomba Clot Man, we back with another video on the Ross Clot Man, JasonBlaha Strength and Fitness Man. Yeah, man. My apology for advising people buy a creatine or fish in back when I thought research backed them. Oh, fish? What's wrong with fish, man? Fish is seafood's good for you. What are you talking about? Anyways, let's review this video, man.
It's JasonBlaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys. It's going to be an apology video and a correction.
I'm gonna talk about a little bit about creatine, something that I too discovered a while back. But okay.
Get a sip of my Mootopia. It's basically the same thing as Fairlife. For all the people who keep calling me a vegan, which is really weird, I'm drinking milk on camera.
You are a vegan. Yeah, you're a cheat. That's why you're drinking milk, so you don't completely dissolve and fall apart and fall away, fall to the wayside, to the side of the road, bro. Look, man, he's watching my videos for sure. I ain't keep calling him vegan slave. Look, man, just because I'm calling you a vegan, just because you're drinking some dairy products, you're a vegan, but you're cheating. You shouldn't be drinking those. The animal products, milk and whatever else there, I don't know. But yeah, that's what's sustaining you. A vegan diet is not sustaining you. That's how you're able to get all the nutrients in you, because animal products are not deficient in any nutrients. So when you do get them, your body starts storing them because it's running low on them. They can store them up for a long time in case they need them. That's why these vegans are able to survive as long as they can, but their lifespan will definitely be extremely short and die of nutrient deficiencies. Anyways, let's go with this.
From a cow. Yep, supposedly.
No, really? It's from a cow? For a moment there, I almost thought it was from a horse.
Out there, like, Jason, I bought fish oil and creatine and stuff years ago because you endorse them, because you're honest about these things, and kind of sucks and wastes a lot of money. It would be nice if you apologized for endorsing those products. And I thought about it for a minute, and I'm like, well, hold up. My first thought was to be defensive, be like, but I bought those things too. I thought.
Dive into 888 Casino.
Based upon all the available data that we have, sorry, stuff's blowing around here. Based upon all the available data that we had, that these were the handful of good supplements that work.
They do work if you know how to use them. That's the difference, man. Look, some things really work if you know how to use them, but you have to know what it is you're shooting for. For example, all right, so here's one on creatine. This is just one, okay? There's many other things on creatine, but this happens to be one. And this is back in 2006, okay? So creatine supplementation augments the increase in satellite cell and myonuclei number in human skeletal muscle induced by strength training. So I know what they're talking about here. I'm not going to go through the whole top part, okay? The frequency, number, whatever. Present study investigates influence of creatine and protein supplementation on satellite cell frequency and number of myonuclei in human skeletal muscle during 16 weeks of heavy resistance training. We know that when they started, there's a decline, and then it kind of stops working. First they saturate, they do some high dose, and then they just go with a certain dose, and then whatever. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, okay? The most important part is the bottom part, right here, way at the bottom. It says, in conclusion, the present study demonstrates for the first time that creatine supplementation in combination with strength training amplifies the training-induced increase in satellite cell number and myonuclei concentration in human skeletal muscle fibers. This myonuclei concentration works best in myofibular hypertrophy and not sarcoplasmic. See that? So, thereby allowing an enhanced muscle fiber growth in response to strength training. So, if these nuclei, if they bind with the existing fiber, those fibers will get bigger, okay? But if it's just you coming in doing this sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, you as a trained athlete coming in frequently lifting as a trained athlete, that is endurance training, you will not, these nuclei, the satellite cell will not deposit its nuclei. It will not contribute its nuclei to those fibers. That's all. They don't just cling to anything. They donate their nuclei to micro injuries. If there's no micro injuries, they're not donating their nuclei. It's really simple, man. So you as a chronic lifter, it shifts into type 1 to protect muscle type 2 from getting damaged. And so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the type 1s are getting a little bit of damage, but you definitely don't want to just grow type 1 muscle fibers. See what I mean? You want to grow type 2. So that is another issue. Then you could be growing too many slow twitch muscle fibers. Yeah, anyway, so that's how it works, man. So it does amplify it. That's what they're saying. It amplifies it. There's an increase in it. All right. Can it help you? It's something you'd have to experiment with, okay? I've never totally done it with muscle damage. I've never experimented with creatine with muscle damage. I've experimented it with it years ago, long time ago, all the rave and all that. And at that time I was kind of chronically lifting and doing sports, okay? So yeah, I didn't notice anything. I noticed there was a 5-pound increase in water, and then it all went away really fast. But again, I've never tried it in muscle damage training, in myofibular growth. Like it says here, it enhances it. So yeah, it says it augments the increase in satellite cell myonuclei number. So that must mean in muscle injury. It has to be muscle injury. Has to be. Yep. It doesn't happen in chronic lifting because you're protected from repeated bout effect, protects muscle from a repeated bout of muscle damage. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like actually. So it would look like this in this map. You know the nuclei acquired by overload. So untrained first training, think about this, that satellite cell fusion, if it augments it and increases it and help to increase it in number, then you'll get more of these cells to fuse to that fiber, and then they hypertrophy. That means there's a greater chance of more hypertrophy. See that? That's about it. So yeah, does it amplify? Like I said, they did a test on it. They say it works. I don't know. So if they did a test and it works, then it must work. It must work. That's all. It must work. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to, let's go back to listen to this dude.
Okay, but does that matter? In other words, if our actions and behavior we intended to do good, but harm came from it, does it make it good? And I'm going to say, probably not. I mean, the road to ruin is paved with good intentions. Are we responsible for our behavior that causes harm, even if our intents were good? Okay, but harm is caused if anyone out there bought any supplement, because we know at this point the data is showing they're pretty much worthless. They wasted their money. They lost money.
They're worthless if you don't know how to use these supplements. Listen, some of these supplements could have some use, like amino acids. Definitely, I remember when I was younger, people used handfuls of amino acids. These young guys, they would come to the gym, they'd just like swallow handfuls of these amino acids. They would work out, and they got big. I don't know. I was like, they got big. What's going on here? Again, they were young. They were, just starting out. but they got big off them. But what we noticed was after 2 months, they stopped working. And when I looked at the literature to find out why they stopped working after 2 months of doing heavy doses of this amino acid, we found out that it overstimulates your pituitary to release growth hormone. And so what happens after 2 months of overstimulating, it crashes. And so now you have to try to maintain what you built on very low levels of growth hormone and possibly even testosterone. You will get depressed and you'll be weak coming into the gym. That's what I noticed. These guys told me that's what happened. I remember asking one guy, what happened to you? He was sitting downstairs in the changing room. He said he felt depressed, really bad, moody after 2 months of doing that because it crashes you. And so it takes another 2 months for it to regenerate, to come back, the growth hormone and everything else, for it to be working properly. So yeah, I just don't see, the benefit there, I just didn't see it. There wasn't really much growth there because, again, it's based on muscle damage and they're not damaging enough. So they never really fully used the benefit of the amino acids properly as to this repair and remodeling because they never got much damage there. They were chronically lifting. That was their problem. That damage goes away quickly with chronic lifters. Remember, chronic lifting is associated with endurance athletes. Periodic lifting is associated with myofibular growth, and chronic is associated with sarcoplasmic growth. Get it, man?
Owned by the supplement industry, and anyone bought that based on my recommendations. Now, keep in mind, I don't make money on it. I do not make money on supplements. I don't sell supplements. Is it wrong? And I'm going to say, yeah, it was an unintentional wrong. So therefore, I think it's important for me to say, you know what, guys?
Again, creatine is 2 types of amino acids. I think it's arginine, glycine, and something else. I can't remember, methionine. I'm not really sure. So it's 3. I know that arginine is a growth hormone stimulator. It's definitely a growth hormone stimulator. I remember back in the day, people were so crazy about growth hormone stimulation. They were selling amino acids separately, and so they were trying to figure out the dose between arginine and ornithine. So in these old magazines, they would tell you, you need so much arginine and ornithine to stimulate growth hormone. Okay, so you stimulate growth hormone, but growth hormone can't donate its nuclei. Satellite cells do to cracks and domes in the muscle fiber, so that fiber could get even bigger. That is the whole point. That's how, look, how does a muscle fiber get bigger? It's easy. It has to be micro-injured, and then the satellite cell has to donate its nuclei there, and then it binds with a bunch of other progenitor cells, and they create muscle cells, and those muscle cells, they get bigger. People are like, oh, scar tissue formation. You can call it scar tissue formation. I don't know. It's muscle fiber scar tissue formation. It's muscle fiber binding to the muscle fiber. It's muscle cells binding to those cracks in the domes, and then they get bigger. See that? That's how it works. I'm stressing the muscle and it's going to get bigger. You stressing muscle fibers, they don't just get stressed. You stressing a cell isn't going to force the myonuclear domain to make that cell get any bigger, okay? Because they have an MND size limit, okay, man? They can't get any bigger. You need more cells and they get bigger because it's overseen, the cytoplasm, it's overseen by the MND size limit. It's really simple, man.
I was wrong. I thought that I was right. I had good intentions, but I was incorrect. And people out there threw away their money on things like fish oil and creatine because I believed they were useful. And it turned out they really are. That's what the data is starting to show. Right? The newest data on creatine is showing the muscle.
Look, the creatine part, what it does is it gives you the strength to lift heavier to get a new adaptation in muscle damage. Look, if you're unfamiliar with lifting that heavier weight, right? Because you took creatine, you weren't strong enough to go heavier, but it pushed you to lift heavier. You definitely will get an adaptation. In what? Well, it's unfamiliar, it's unaccustomed, it's untrained. doing that heavier weight. So now when you lift that heavier weight, you will get some of this damage to come back, okay? And so this thing, what is it? The creatine will probably augment the satellite cell when it's proliferating and differentiating and donating its nuclei. It'll help to amplify it, okay? That's all it's saying there. So yeah, that's the whole point of creatine. The whole point of steroids is to get a new adaptation through strength training. But the problem is they're chronically lifting. So they may get 1 or 2, maybe lucky 3 more of these adaptations, lifting a heavy weight, relying on the heavy weight to cause the muscle damage. But again, remember, muscle rapidly adapts due to what? The repeated bout effect phenomena. So the moment you get a new adaptation in this muscle damage because you went heavier, let's just say that was unfamiliar, that was unaccustomed to doing that and untrained to doing that, getting that heavier lift. And now you got these micro injuries. Boy, it will rapidly adapt. An adaptation process called repeated bout effect phenomena. And that's the problem with all you people lifting. You don't seemingly understand that. See that? So you do need to lift heavier to get an adaptation. But again, you won't get much. You won't get much there. You get more as a periodic lifter than you would coming in as a chronic lifter. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the difference, okay? But I'm not saying you can't get a new adaptation by lifting something heavier, which you've never lifted before, because it's unfamiliar, you're unaccustomed to doing that, and you're untrained lifting something heavier. That's what people not understanding this. As you get stronger, as you get bigger in myofibrillar growth, you get stronger. And as you get stronger, you start to, your natural strength, you lift heavier naturally. It's not something you practice that for androgen receptor strength. Oh, I'm a small guy and I can lift a heavy weight type of thing. Duh. See what I mean? That's why these people are never growing. They're not understanding the concept of muscle, natural strength. You're trying to increase your natural physical body strength and your natural lift strength at the same time. But if you're only focused on lifting a heavy weight, getting androgen receptor strength, this chemical strength, like a woman lifting a car off her kid, getting an influx of fucking adrenaline to lift a heavy car, well, that's chemical strength, get it? And so if you're all shooting for that, what did you expect to get? See what I mean?
And at this point are probably not statistically significant, which means draws into question all that old data with older measurements. Right? It's looking like creatine may be useless. I don't take it anymore, so that's why I'm sitting in the tub. I had some fish oil in the freezer. I took fish oil for...
It's only useless to him because he's a chronic lifter. He's an endurance athlete. And so it too rapidly adapts. Eventually, these supplements, your body adapts to them. That's why you're not supposed to be doing them all the time. I would say if you were going to use it like it says there to amplify these satellite cells and nuclei, I would only do it the first 2 days. Now, if you're using it because you definitely want to increase some strength just so you could get a new adaptation, okay, so be it. Go ahead and do that. I would follow the recommended dose on the container. I don't know. It isn't a junk product. I mean, some of it says it's pharmaceutical grade. I don't know. Creatine actually does work. It will help to increase force production, and because it's an amino acid, bro. Man, it's an amino acid. It works, okay? And as it says about this augmentation of the satellite cell, I believe it because the arginine, the growth hormone part, whatever. These three amino acids, they work well together, okay? Unlike BCAAs. Those three, they don't work well together, but the creatine one definitely does.
For over 20 years, almost every day, for in excess of 20 years, I took fish oil. How much money have I spent over the decades on fish oil? A lot.
Can creatine help you as a runner run faster? You as a pro runner or whatever it is you're doing in your athletic abilities. Yes, definitely it could, if you know how to manipulate and use it to your benefit. But if you don't know how, you're just like, oh, I'm just going to lift, I'm just going to do this, I'm just going to take this supplement, and the supplement, I'm going to rely on the supplement, it's going to have magic powers. The supplement itself doesn't have magic powers. You have to do something specific to get it to do something specific.
Because I read the wrong data, and I didn't even realize that even quite a few years back, some of the top researchers say we don't think it actually does anything helpful. Saying omega-3s, because that's the data. Omega-3 fats have these benefits, but they're like, the research is showing they're not showing it from people who supplement it, even the fish oil. Okay, people who eat walnut.
I don't know, man. The fish oil, the omega-3, yeah, you might as well just eat real fish, okay? I don't know, man. Just eat real food. Why do you have to eat all these artificial things? But okay, whatever.
Which should be an inferior omega-3 to the fish oil in theory. You seem to get improved health outcomes that do not appear in the statistics for people who take fish oil. It doesn't seem to improve lipids. Doesn't seem to reduce cardiovascular risk. It doesn't seem to do anything. There do not appear to be health benefits. This is what the leading researchers and experts are saying. These are our basic, most simple health supplements that all of us, or even those of us who say, supplements don't really work. We've been saying this stuff, but this stuff does. These little cheap, inexpensive, they seem to work. But apparently, it's turning out even they really don't work. I mean, what are we down to? I take a few electrolytes. Like, what am I taking at this point? I take my K2 because I think there may be some heart health benefits to it. There's supplemental vitamins and some.
I don't know. These supplements, do they have any benefits? No. Might as well just eat real food, man. Eat meat, bro. Meat is not deficient in any nutrient. So why the hell do you need all these supplements? Makes no sense.
Like foods, like milk and stuff. There's vitamin D, SFRD.
And they're toxic, these pills and stuff, man. Then over consuming them could be bad for you. I don't know.
That's probably enough. They throw some retinol and things in there. Eat a few vitamin fortified foods. But I throw a little potassium and sometimes some magnesium in my stuff just for extra electrolytes, hydration when I'm in a deficit. I think there may be some mild performance benefits, possibly some blood pressure benefits, but that's about it. But I buy those bulk. I've got like a couple 1 kilo bags of magnesium and potassium citrate. I've got some potassium salts, and that's pretty much my supplement stack. I like melatonin, but the dreams get too intense.
Man, I have a picture of you taken not long ago with your supplement stack. It's in my community section. I don't know. Let me see. I think he's lying, man. I think he's lying. Here it is. This is him. He's got creatine monohydrate, and I still think he takes it. This is just a year ago, 2022. He's lying to you. It says right there, my current supplement stack in January 2022. We're in 2023. Whey protein, fish oil, vitamin D3, and I can't see the other one there. I think it's some other vitamin K2 or something, and creatine monohydrate. So he's a creatine user. Yeah, man, he's got water muscles. He's fakey water muscles because he's a chronic lifter. He lies a lot about everything, man. He's a pathological liar.
Yeah, I haven't even been taking it. The dreams finally just got to be too much for me. I don't like the vivid dreams.
He says he's not taking it anymore. Since when has he quit? Because that's recent. I don't understand.
I've got a debate. Is the sleep quality worth it? So where are we with it? The whole industry is looking like junk. But the point is, there are a lot of people out there who still want those things because
I say he's a supplement slave. He's lying, man.
Who says, hey, most supplements don't work, said, hey, these probably do, you should buy them. So I want to apologize to those people. Okay, I apologize to you for me being incorrect and for you wasting your money. Now, if I want to come up and say as far as bad stuff I've supposedly done online, I think that's kind of the top because people lost money, okay, on my recommendations. That's actually a negative. It's one thing to say, oh,
The problem was they didn't know how to use it. They lost their money. It's not the company's fault. It's because muscle has all these things that are involved. They're protected, the damage, the cracks, the domes, this, that. It's a lot more complicated than most people think. Bodybuilding, how it works to build your body, to build this myofibrillar growth as opposed to sarcoplasmic. See what I mean? The company itself, they're selling a supplement. How you use that supplement, if it's in sarcoplasmic training, then of course you're not going to get any benefits from it. Now, if the supplements are used in myofibrillar hypertrophy, I would say definitely, from some of these supplements, you're going to get horrendous amount of benefits in myofibrillar growth, but not sarcoplasmic training like him, a chronic trainer. He's an endurance athlete, that's all, and a lifter.
you may have hurt someone's feelings. Yeah, that doesn't count. This is actually tangible. Like people lost money. That's kind of a big deal. That cost you something. You didn't like what I said about another influencer, so what? But this is something that's actually serious. Like it's actually serious, and I think it deserves an apology. So I'm going to do it. I apologize. And I would advise people out there to not throw your money away on that. And I would advise the rest of the influencers out there that, hey, if I'm willing to apologize for this, and all of you should do the same. Like, stop making money on this stuff. Quit selling it. Quit putting your name on it. Other than maybe protein powders, Protein powders. And people say, well, why?
Again, do they have benefits in myofibrillar growth as opposed to sarcoplasmic? Some of these supplements. I can't say all, I don't know. Yeah, they have some benefit because they do something. But the manufacturer is not going to say, hey man, it doesn't have benefits in sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. The benefits are in myofibrillar, so you should try to get more of this myofibrillar growth. And people would be like, what? What do you mean myofibrillar growth? What do you mean? I'm not building muscles? I'm not building muscles? You mean I'm going to a gym, spending 30 years on building sarcoplasmic muscles? What? And the supplements are useless in sarcoplasmic training? What? You understand what I mean? I'm getting nothing? You mean I've wasted all my life? This would be a shock to people. They don't like my channel, I'll tell you why. And they're black, how should I put it? They're shadow banning me, YouTube and everything. Even my thumbnails, whatever. They're shadow banning the shit out of me. Everybody, the fitness industry and everybody's been trying to suppress me for a long time. Even JasonBlaha, he had a chance to strike me and boom, my channel's gone. Because it is a shock to people that have been lifting all this time and they go, what? You mean I've been training all this time and it was sarcoplasmic and it's not myofibrillar growth? It's a shock to some people. They can't handle the truth. They could get a nervous breakdown, bro, finding out that they had wasted 30 years of their life. It's like a person that's been, in this religious state. They find out that religion is fake, that their beliefs and everything are all fake. That's why it never works on old people. In the Matrix, they say you can't wake up old people because they're set in their ways of their fake beliefs. Now, young people are easily more manipulated and, how should I put it? They're easily tricked, okay, or manipulated, or into these beliefs. They believe wholeheartedly whatever you tell them. That's why when it comes to young people, if you notice, you go to a supplement show, they're always gearing up towards the young people because they know they're easily influenced. Us older people, we've been there, done that. We're not interested in that. That's why they never call me over to their booths. They don't want to talk to me as an older person because they know they can't sell to me. They want to sell to young people because young people are the easiest influenced in this world. Notice all the problems that are going on in the world. It's all the young people fighting between themselves because they're easily duped into anything, into these fake beliefs. But older people, they already fall off that bandwagon. They find out the truth and they look back and they get wiser and they go, oh, that was all bullshit. That's why the older people, they're watching the young people die. Think about it. When wars come, who's the first person to die? Young people. They're all gung-ho ready to fight and die. Old people, they don't want to die. Why don't old people want to go there and die? Because they know the truth. You understand me? That it's a waste. You're fighting for no cause other than a fake belief. See what I mean?
Protein powders, because they're food. They're just food. Keep in mind, they're food that would go to waste. Like whey protein is going to exist anyways. Whether we choose to consume it or not, it's still going to exist as long as cheese is manufactured. So unless you get rid of the cheese industry, you're going to have a ton of whey, tons of it. So we're just using.
Like I said, the graveyards are filled with young people. They're not filled with old people. You understand me? That's the difference.
A pre-existing food that's going to already exist, a protein that's already going to exist. We're making it palatable, adding some flavors and stuff to it.
I'd say the protein powders are just waste products. Those are probably the waste. They're a waste of products. But you get like companies like 6 Star, this, that, and they add this creatine to their protein powders to make it, you know, to kind of make it beneficial. But again, if you're using it in the wrong modality of training, what did you expect? That's the outcome that you're going to get. It may, look, you may be training, but that may not be the outcome that you were expecting. And the outcome can be unbeneficial to what it is that you're trying to get. You think you're trying to get something, and then you listen to these influencers. Hey man, I'm shooting for the pump like Sam Sulek. I got the pump. I'm going for the pump. And what do? You start shooting for the pump. You're like, oh, I need a greater pump. And so you buy these products called pump. And so what do? You're pumping up your muscles. You're pumping them up. What are you pumping them up with? Water. With glycogen. Water. You're pumping them up, get it? You're pumping them up. You're going and you're pumping water into your muscles. Creating these fake muscles, bro, get it? That's why they say the pump. They didn't say building muscle. They tell you exactly what they're selling you, the pump. They are selling you the pump. You understand me? And even when creatine, sometimes they tell you you're going to gain some water weight. They tell you you will gain some water weight. It'll saturate your muscles and blah, 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 blah. Tell you a whole bunch of stuff. That's why you have to go look at the studies to see what does creatine really do. And then, it amplifies the satellite cell nuclei, But how does it do that? Just from waving your magic wand, these weights around in the room, if you just wave your arm around with a weight in it, it's going to do that automatically? No. You understand me? It's specifically geared towards that training. It's geared towards that training. So you need to gear your training towards that, whatever it is that you're doing there. It's going to work if you're adapted, man.
I don't have an issue with that. You know, it makes sense. They're at least utilizing something that would go to waste anyways. So that's a good thing. So I think
that's a good thing. They're going to utilize something that would go to waste. So sell the waste products to the people. Let them eat waste. Man, that's horrible. What are you talking about?
It's a little bit different until we come to the point that they say, oh, it turns out we only need 50 grams of protein a day to maximize muscle, which I don't think we're going to see that.
You need a lot of grams of protein if you get muscle damage. If you get these damaged fibers, you're going to need horrendous amounts of protein, especially the first 2-3 days. You need a lot of protein. Definitely the first day. If you eat a lot the first day, remember, it'll still circulate in your system to the third day. So you definitely, that's why I say, if you do get a good session of muscle damage, you definitely should race down to the buffet and eat for another 3 hours. If you worked out for 3 hours, does not make sense to go and eat for 3 hours? Why would you work out for 3 hours and go eat for 30 minutes and fuck off? You understand me? That's stupid. That is still training. Eating is a training. Everything you're doing is training. Hello?
I don't think that's going to happen. Cross my fingers. So, yeah, but again, it's about riding the ship. It's about...
Did he just laugh like an idiot? Man, he looks like this guy from Frankenstein, the bald head guy with the humpback.
Riding the ship. And when we do something, even with good intentions, it causes harm. I think at the very least, we owe an apology to people. So, again, I want to apologize. All right, guys, but that's really...
Okay, Jason Blaha, we accept your bullshit apology. Don't do it again, okay? Or again, get a spanking next time. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe. Blaha apologizing for poisoning you with the fake supplements. Yes. Okay. Man, this is crazy. Yeah, comment down below. Helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends.